Boom! Greetings from YouTubeville. Once again, Danny Savage, Jeff Guru here. Don't feel well. Got the hat on inside. So, also, we're going to be talking about my least favorite position. If you like the video, sub and subscribe. It don't cost a dime. By far the best beard on YouTube. Listen, in my personal opinion, when you're scouting players, no one has the same accuracy at every single position. One guy might have an eye for linemen. Another guy might have an eye for receivers, corners. Quarterbacks, let's be honest, man, have the highest bust rate in the NFL, man. You know, when John Elway was running the Denver Broncos, he drafted how many quarterbacks? They were all busts. The only way he got a Super Bowl, he traded. I believe he traded for Peyton Manning, or the Colts cut Peyton Manning. So when it comes to quarterbacks, I think John Elway knows a lot more about quarterbacks than me. But every other position, and I also don't like corners. Every single other position, I will put my rankings up against anybody. And anyone can just look at my 2024 rankings. So, listen, I'm not going to come out here and also say like a big song and dance. It is a very below average quarterback class. And these are for, I think, 9 out of the 10. I'm dropping 10, but 9 out of the 10 pretty much played 6 years of ball. I think the only one who might not have is Shador, but everyone's pretty much was a C-word super senior. So it is what it is. So at one, pretty much this is everyone's one overall, and that's Cam Ward from Florida. 6'2", 225, has a strong arm, put up 4,300 yards, 39 TDs, 7 interceptions at Miami. He followed Mario Cristobal there. What blows me away with this kid, and it's not a good thing, like, and this is a bad comp. This guy has he has some Tony Romo in him, some Dak Prescott. I'm not even going to say Dash. I'm going to say more Tony Romo, where during the game, he'll make 30-30 of the greatest passes you've ever seen. But out of that 30, you're going to see like 2 going back the other way for a touchdown. They're going to be interceptions. And I call them WT, like, what the fuck? Like, what were you thinking? You know what I'm saying? So hopefully that can get coached out of him. But let's be honest also too, a lot of these quarterbacks come into the NFL behind the 8 ball. Why, might you ask? A lot of them, they're all going to the worst teams. So you could be the greatest quarterback in the world. If you're getting sacked 75 times a game, it's not going to help you. If you have no wide receivers, it's not going to help you. If you have no running game, it's not going to help you. That's why some guys that get drafted later sometimes show up better than these all ones. You know, every year we heard generational. Who's the kid in Jacksonville? Played for Clemson. They thought he was the next coming of Peyton Manning, everyone said. And I'm like, bro, That word generational gets thrown around every single draft. Every draft, oh, that's the next Peyton Manning. Every draft, oh, that's the next Warren Sapp. That's the next Bruce Smith. That's the next Randy Moss. It's the same old fucking script these dudes give you. Don't fall for it. But we'll throw Cam Ward at 1. Number 2, I got to be different. So it's going to be Curtis Rourke, quarterback, Indiana, 6'5", 230. That's going to help him a lot. He has prototypical NFL size for a quarterback. He also has a big, strong arm. Now, he was in the MAC for like 4 years in Ohio and passed for like over 8,000 yards, drew for 50 touchdowns. He rushed for 1,000 yards and 13 TDs down in the MAC. So that shows that he's athletic. Now, my Indiana cleaned house. All of James Madison's coaches came over to Indiana. This kid jumped in the portal, had an extra year. He went to Indiana. He wound up throwing for like 3,000 yards, 29 TDs, 5 interceptions. So he went up in talent he went from the MAC to the Big Ten. I hope we can all agree that that's a big jump in competition. And he had a decent season. Took them far. They had a career year, Indiana. When was the fucking last time we ever seen them do anything? And let's be honest, can anyone out there name me any one of Indiana's wide receivers, tight ends, or running backs? I'll be waiting. So listen, man, I just think this kid has tools. Let's see. I got to be different. So I put him at 2. As you can see, I'm not like my cheery self because I don't like doing quarterbacks. I don't think anyone does. All these gurus, this and that. I am the draft guru, but position and I'm the trenches. But quarterbacks, nah, man. Highest bust rate. And let's be honest, man. Some of the best quarterbacks in the league, there were 6-round picks, 7-round picks. So all right. Next 3 is the giant in the room, Shedeur Sanders. I'm putting him at 3. Here's my thing with him. I don't think he's a bad kid at all. I don't. I do think he has been coached by his father his entire life. Me personally, and I coached both of my sons. I don't think you should be able to coach your kids, to be honest with you. I don't. Because you're going to treat your kids differently. You're going to be you're going to be harder on them than others. 805 Vaughn, boom, thank you. I wasn't as hard on my little guy, but he wasn't little. I started them off lifting when they were 10 and 12 with soup cans, Campbell's soup cans. 10-year-olds and 12-year-olds shouldn't be lifting weights. So I started them off with soup cans. And then gradually, that turned into the gym. My little guy squatting 315 for 10. My oldest son turned into he's just a gym fanatic. Long story short, though, but he thought I was Tom Landry, Jimmy Johnson, Vince Lombardi. He thought I was the most harshest, roughest coach there was. Then he went up to his next team. And the next team he went to had like 90 kids on it, legit. So he went from going both ways. He went from being a guard and a defensive tackle to just starting one way. He just started defensive tackle. And he said to me, he goes, I thought you were the worst coach, the hardest coach in the world. He's like, man, you let us drink water at least. He's like, these other coaches don't even let us drink water. I'm like, when I was a kid, it was the same thing. They wouldn't even let you drink. But the last thing I need would be for a kid to die under my guidance, and that went for everybody. Every 30 minutes, Gatorade, every 30 minutes. But long story short, Shedeur, his whole life, has been coached by his father. So I'm also going to say, wherever he's went, he hasn't had a great offensive line. He's taken a lot of sacks. He does have a narrow build. I do think he has to mature some. At Colorado, there was games where they were losing. And Deion took his kid out of the game. But yet, you let all the other kids play. So what was so special about your son? Oh, the game's out of reach. Let's take him out. But what about the offensive lineman, the defensive lineman, everybody else? Fuck them, right? Nah, bro. And, I got mad respect for Prime. Best DB that ever played. Best corner. But I would love to ask him. Because I would ask him, would you let your son go both ways like Travis Hunter did? Like you let Travis Hunter? Travis Hunter, his head's all fucked up over that stripper girlfriend. If he thinks he's going both ways in the NFL, he's going to have a short career. But there was also a game, too, where Sanders threw his offensive line under the bus. If you think that's going to happen in the NFL without one of these 6'7", 330-pound giants slapping the shit out of him, no, bro. And his daddy's not going to be there to save him. So, and also, too, Colorado, who I believe won a national championship, I'm going back like 40 years, is retiring Shedeur Sanders' jersey and Travis Hunter's jersey. Granted, Travis Hunter, what he did was going both ways, winning the highest spin. I get that. What did Shedeur Sanders do that his jersey is being retired at the University of Colorado? Did they do that for Eric Bieniemy? Maybe they did. I don't know. But they went to a national championship game, and they won, I'm pretty sure. Like I said, I'm going back like 40 years. All I'm trying to say is I just think they're setting this kid up for failure. Whatever team drafts him, if they had a great quarterback in their career, in the history of the franchise, he's going to ask that person right off the bat, oh, can we unretire your jersey and can I wear it? This kid is being set up for failure. But like I said, I think he's a good kid. It's just, but he's a millionaire. His father's a millionaire. You're dealing with billionaires now. They don't want to hear no shit. So, and if you think, like I said, he's going to throw his offensive line under the bus in the NFL, that's not going to fly without him getting his head cracked. Or throw his wide receivers, he's going to get cracked. The only way I see this working, I'm going to be honest with you, is if whatever team he goes to, then Deion's coaching him in another year. Because, he's been treated like the anointed one. How do you take him out of the game? Because the game's out of reach. But everyone else can risk their MCLs, ACLs out there and their lives. And or games weren't even over and he would send them inside. Like I said, man, my opinion means nothing. I do not think you should coach your own children. That's just my opinion. Because this kid's going to be in for a rude awakening when he now doesn't, and then what? Now, you're an owner, you're a GM, you're a coach. You're going to want Prime on the sideline for every game because you know that's going to clap. You know that's going to happen. You want Prime in the media saying, oh, if they do this, they do that. I'm telling you, I wouldn't be shocked. And like I said, if just the Billionaire Boys Club, the good old boys system, the NFL, he's going to drop because they want a lot of those. They don't want any part of the circus atmosphere he's going to come with. The money that he's worth and his dad's worth, that's a weekend to those owners, man. Like I said, you're playing with billionaires. You have to take a step back and humble yourself a little bit. I do think, though, like I said, I'm giving you both pros and cons. I do. Some people say he doesn't have an NFL arm. I think he does. He does hold on to the ball a little longer. But like I said, man, he's taken a lot of sacks, man, everywhere he's played. And so if he had better offensive line, his numbers would be better. The one thing that does concern me, he has a very, very narrow build. I'm sorry, man. It looks like if he goes to the Giants stadium is so windy, the wind will blow him away. One thing I'll say, I'm telling you, Giant Stadium is a difficult stadium to play in. It's out in the middle of nowhere. It's all flat. It's flat. It is so windy out there. Giants are going to be waiting for Drew Aller next year. I'm not a fan of him either. So, but listen, I just think he has to calm the circus down because I see him taking a tumble, or some teams going to, there's other teams. There might be one or two teams that want that circus, but we'll see. Next kid is Jackson Dart. What a scummy name, bro. I don't know, bro. It's just a funny name. Old Miss. Not great size. 6'2", 225. 4,200 yards, 29 TDs, 6 interceptions. Old Miss had two good wide receivers. Two good, and they had a few good offensive linemen, which I've given throughout the season. So, my opinion, I don't see the big hoopla over this kid. But I'm going to be honest with you. This is a horrendous quarterback draft, which is going to lead to, if you have a team without a quarterback, you're either going to, a lot of these kids are going to get overdrafted, or you're just going to say F it and wait till next year. Next year's a much better class. Also, too, like I was going back to earlier, a lot of these kids are overaged. They're older. They've played a lot of ball. This next kid, let's be honest, man. Will Howard, Ohio State, man. 6'4", 225. What's rule number one? Don't draft Ohio State quarterbacks because 99 out of 100 turn out to be complete busts. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I wasn't a fan of Stroud at Ohio State because he was surrounded by the best talent there was, the best team that money could buy. And when he got, flushed out of the pocket, he could not throw on the run. But then he gets drafted to the Texans. So I'm saying, like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Did I miss this? Now he had a good rookie season. Last year, he took a step back, got me second guessing myself. But I never have stated I'm a quarterback guru. I am not. I'm a lineman. You know what I'm trying to say? But Will Howard, 6'4", 225. Let's be honest, man. Ohio State this past year probably could have beat the bottom feeders in the NFL. They probably could have. That's how much talent. You're going to see 15 kids at least get drafted. They're probably going to break the record. Will Howard. He was a transfer in. He does have decent size. I got him at 5, bro. But like I said, he was surrounded by monsters at every single position this past season. Next kid is a kid that I think could be a sleeper, and I was hard on him. I was hard on this kid. Ironically, he used to play at Ohio State. He only got 1 year to start. He started Kyle McCord, his name is. 6'3", 230. So he started 1 year at Ohio State. So he started 2023. And he basically, like that, he had Marvin, he had Marvin Harrison and everybody, the whole crew. But he just looked horrendous out there. He basically, got death threats, everything, and he got booted off the team pretty much. But I'm over exaggerating, but yeah, he got death threats, all that shit. He jumped in the portal, transfers to Syracuse, who had a lot. You can't compare the talent at Syracuse to Ohio State. Kyle McCord goes to Syracuse, puts up 4,700 yards, 34 touchdowns. Granted, excuse me, got something in my eye. Syracuse does have a running back, but he's a day 3 guy. They have a tight end, Oronde Gadsden, really good. He's a day 3. But can't compare to the talent he had when he was at Ohio State. Could he have folded under the pressure? That's a possibility. Could he have not, there was that limelight? It's possible. Could they have simplified things in Syracuse? A lot of things are possible. But he had a nice bounce back season. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I wrote him off for dead. I wrote him off like, he showed me that I was wrong at Syracuse. So I think he's just, a name possibly to look out for. Next is a kid, Riley Leonard, out of Notre Dame. 6'4", 215, little on the skinny side. Passed like 2,800 yards, 21 TDs, 8 interceptions. Was not asked to do a lot. Only started 1 year at Notre Dame. Not flashy at all. I think he is a good decision maker. I'll give him that. I have him as my 7th ranked quarterback, and he's going to be like day 3, man. I'm telling you, I'm not going to come here and try, like a car salesman to try to say, oh, look at this, look at that, look at that. I can only talk about what I've seen, and I can't add all stuff into it. But a lot of these kids might be headed for the XFL or the USFL, whatever league there is. Yo, I love football, bro, but I can't get into that league. I'm sorry, I just can't. At 8, I got to fix it in the with where I had it ranked. Is Dillon Gabriel. Now, if it was up to me, and honestly, for shits and giggles, I probably should have had Dillon Gabriel, probably like at 4. But this just shows you how in the NFL, Dillon Gabriel is barely 6 feet tall, 200 pounds. Has a very strong arm, good decision maker, passed for almost 4,000 yards and 30 TDs, 6 INTs at Oregon. He's not afraid to take off if nothing's available. But let's be honest, he's more likely like 5'10". NFL don't like short quarterbacks. Why? They can't see over the offensive line. So, listen, he might be the best quarterback out of this crew. But I think he's going to be a day 3 pick. And, you could bring up Drew Brees. Drew Brees was on the shorter side. But for every Drew Brees, there's a million 6 feet and under quarterbacks that they just don't even get a chance. I'm sure there's a lot of teams that don't even have this kid on their board because of his size. And hey, welcome to the world, man. How many kids went through this in high school, man? They were shorter, or they weren't as big as somebody else. They mopped the floor with them, but yet the big kid is getting the scholarship because the college coach just doesn't even just sees the frame on the kid, and he's like, "Oh, we'll make him into a player." And they'll look at the smaller kid, and they'll be like, "Yo, you're maxed out. Yo, you could be the most." A lot of positions, college, it's called the eye test. It's like, nope. They don't even want to look at your tape. They don't even want to look at your tape. What do you want me to tell you, man? I think Dillon Gabriel could be a backup quarterback. Like I said, he has a good arm. This kid isn't getting much talked about either. He has nice size. Tyler Schausch, 6'5", 225, University of Louisville. I think he's a sleeper. I got him at 9. I got to fix the way I did my rankings. George, boom, what's up? Thank you for jumping in the chat. Doing quarterbacks today, my least favorite position. I hate. So this kid was going to catch scouts' eyes and coaches' eyes as the 6'5", 225. Strong arm, 3,200 yards, 23 TDs, 6 INTs. He has a strong arm. He makes good decisions. The defense, I had quite a few kids from Louisville defense that I liked. But offensively, we really can't say he was surrounded by monsters. So I just think he's a name to watch out for. Listen, any draft you see, no one's going to have Curtis Rourke at 2. I really don't care. Yo, these guys that get paid millions of dollars, they bust out every year. Drafting quarterbacks. It's the hardest position to pick, man. It is. At 10, I got kid Quinn Ewers from Texas. I'm not a fan of him at all. He was surrounded by a monster team, legit. a monster offense. He was surrounded by the best offensive line in college football. He had two good receivers, a super, super underrated running back, man. And even a very underrated tight end and Gunnar Helm. So, like, he would just, I'm not a fan of yours at all, but he's my 10th. So 8, 9, 10 to turn back around. Like I said, Dillon Gabriel. So listen, man, I'm not coming out here saying this class is great. It's a horrible quarterback class. It really is. But now I'm saying that, but I'll say it, yo, there could be 2 all pros in here. It is quarterback is that one position where you're really throwing darts at a board. Because when it comes to day 3, I know I'm not throwing darts at a board. I know that for a fucking fact, man. I can find players on day 3 of the draft every single season. I can find undrafted players that are going to start. If you think I can't, look at my 2024 rankings. I put kids that were undrafted free agents in some top 10 lists. And they made the teams. Started double-digit games. How many other kids, how many other dudes that do draft would have the balls to do that? What I like, I like. And I can tell you right now, beside quarterback, other positions, I'm much more right than I am wrong. And I'll put up my rankings up against anybody's. I started in May, and I broke down 717 players. You're lucky if you get 200 from these dudes. Yo, like I say, you really want to fuck with the call-in shows? Ask them who do they like in 2026. They're lucky if they did 250 this year. 250. Are you kidding me? I can do that in my sleep. I'm already looking at 2026 players because I wasn't even going to do a quarterback rankings, to be honest with you, but I was asked last night. You ask, I'll give it. George, do you think it's a chance that 3 quarterbacks go in the top 10 now that we know Carr is done, and you think the Giants take Carter? Listen, man, I think Sasha Banks has a better chance of walking through my front door right now than 3 quarterbacks going in the top 10. I know the Giants did work out Shador, but they also signed Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. This is hard to explain, being politically correct, but I'm going to do my best. Listen, me personally, I don't care what background you come from. I don't care whatever. As long as you win, as long as you're a dog, as long as you're a fighter, as long as you have the skills plus the mental to get the job done. I don't care what you are. I want you next to me. But what Shador is, and Prime, especially Prime, is 100% different than the Giant organization. The Giants more likely are going to look at Daniel Jones, bro. Hot dog shit. He only got drafted because fucking Eli Manning told him to take the kid. And Peyton. That's the only reason Daniel Jones went to the Giants. It's ironic up here in North Jersey, well, right outside Manhattan, that number one recruits in the nation, defensive linemen, will go into Ole Miss. Do you think that just happened to happen? No, bro. It was Eli sending them down there. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, anyone can, and you can look it up. Now, the one kid who was the number one recruit, there was a kid, he was number one defensive lineman in the nation from Bergen Catholic. And he winds up at Ole Miss, and now he's at Ohio State now. Me personally, I think, but they both suck. New York needs a quarterback. I agree with you, but I also think New York is like 2 years away. They got to get an offensive line. New York, the Giants' offensive line is atrocious. So I honestly see the Giants going offensive tackle or Abdul Carter. But the Giants have a young defense, very good skill positions. They need a quarterback. But now, when you take a quarterback in the top 5 and he does not pan out, that pushes your franchise back 5 years. And that's also the same way of like when your quarterback is average and you give him and you make him the highest paid quarterback in the league, that also puts back your franchise 5 years. So I think the Giants are a little gun shy. And to be honest with you, like, listen, man, like, did they shut? It was like, I'm pretty sure when Cam Ward and Shador had their pro day, they signed Russell Wilson on the same day. So, and how ironic. Listen, I hate the Giants with a passion. I do. But this is a channel for all 32 NFL teams and every college out there. I got plenty of Division III kids in all my rankings. I got probably close to 100 HBCU kids. I find it ironic, man. It takes an Italian kid from the city to cover HBCU kids. I had a monster, bro, coming out at wide receiver, but he jumped in the portal, man. He got a bag, which I'm happy for him, and he's at Oklahoma now. You'll be hearing about him next year, man. That's why I laugh, man. I got my guys ready for next year. These guys, a lot of these guys out here, like I said, man, there's way too many colleges, way too many players for you to become a draft guy in February, March. You can't. It's impossible. The transfer portal alone should be a full-time job. But Giants, that would be I don't want to come flat out and call them a racist organization. You know what I'm trying to say? I don't want to say that, but me personally, I just they dealt with LT. He did get them 2 Super Bowls. So listen, at the end of the day, listen, bro, I don't care what you are. I want a crazy, a Charles Haley, a Vontez Burfict. I'm sorry, bro. Every team needs somebody like him. I'm sorry. I want a dog next to me, bro. If you're going into a fight, what is football, bro? It's controlled violence, bro. I want a crazy person next to me. You need a little mixture of everything, but I want, I don't care where you come from, bro. Win. Just fucking win. That's all that matters. Nothing. And you could, there could be kids out there that do have checkered pasts, and there are. There's a lot of kids with check marks, but you're not hearing them yet. You're going to hear them next Wednesday. You're going to start hearing them. Where I've given little hints in my rankings for a lot of these kids where it's going to drop them. You know what I'm trying to say? Some stuff could be seen as inexcusable, but it also could be someone's looking to extort them for a bag of money. Who am I to judge them? I'm nobody to judge them. So Jay Lombardi, boom, thank you for jumping in the chat, man. It listen, man, you don't know a person's, where they grew up, how they grew up, the situation and stuff like that. So it's real easy to like sit back and talk shit about these young kids because there's that saying, you shouldn't throw stones in a glass house. Bro, I'll be the first one to say, bro, if me, when I was 19, 20, and you handed me millions of dollars, me and my crew of friends, bro, I would have been dead in 2 years, man. Like you're handing these young kids who are not even, I think they say your brain's fully developed by like 25, something like that. These kids are not even developed. And these kids are getting handed millions in high school now. And they have no way to be, and they're not being guided right, a lot of these kids. And then you have people that come out here and bash them. You shouldn't be doing that, man. I mean, you don't know the situations. And trust me, man, I come from a background of my career in life where you straight up see how some kids grow up and you're like, yo, this kid doesn't have a chance in fucking hell, man. You don't. You see 30 people living in a 3-bedroom apartment. That's normal, bro. Normal. Or like you see these like kids, like bad situations, and some of them they turn out fine. It's amazing, they don't turn out to be serial killers because of what they're around. You see the kids, they're kids. Bed bug bites on them. They go to school, bugs on them, stuff like that. Like, and then like you see these dudes come out on here and they like shit on kids. Like, nah, bro, that's not the right thing to do, man. So, but I don't see the Giants taking Shador. I think the Giants would probably either go Travis Hunter if he's there or Abdul Carter. Or honestly, the number one offensive tackle on the board. It all depends who you want. It's either there's 3 guys out there. You can honestly kind of flip a coin. Will Campbell, Kelvin Banks, Wyatt Mullen. That's my top 3. Giants offensive, Russell Wilson's going to be running for his life this fall, but Giants organization, nah. Then I don't see them wanting to entertain Prime. I don't see that at all. I could be wrong. Then that would even suck more. Giants draft Shador, and then as a Dallas fan, I got to play him twice a year, and then I got to root for him. I mean, I like his dad. I like his dad. Dad was a Cowboy. His dad was the best shutdown corner there was. I question some of his coaching decisions, but I'm allowed to do that. That's just my opinion. But so I don't want to go too long. 10 quarterbacks, and it was a stretch to even get to 10. People that are going to come out here give you 20, 30. There's another kid I liked, big kid from Houston. I comped him to Dante Culpepper, but I could have threw him in here, but he has crazy measurables, man. So maybe he might show up to a team, and then I'll look stupid for not adding him. You know what I'm saying? But it is a very, very, very below average quarterback class. But It makes up for it. The running back class, the defensive line class, defensive tackles, edges, those are ridiculous, crazy, insane. The amount of talent, running back, defensive line. It's a good tight end class. There's a legit good 10 tight ends. Legit good. It's a good safety class. It's a below average corner. It's a below average quarterback. And I'm going to be honest with you, it's a below average offensive line. Because after those, like, I'm going to say like maybe six, at least my 6 or 7 offensive tackles, it falls off a cliff. There's a couple of sleepers I like in the teens. And then you go interior. I legit got Division III kids in my top 10 interior. Interior is, but yet this interior offensive line class looks so horrible because for some reason, everybody wants the best offensive tackles in this class to play guard. Even though the 3 best offensive tackles in this class over the last 3 years combined, I think there was 2 sacks given up out of the 3 kids combined. Yeah, let's throw him to guard. That's why every single year you see 10 coaches and 10 general managers getting fucking fired. Excuse my language. Because just because you get anointed with a sword or whatever, oh, you're a coach or a GM, doesn't mean you know what you're talking about, man. But we all know when you're rocking with the GWO, it's for life. Later on, I'll be throwing out my daily sleeper of the day. I want to try to get at least another 20 sleepers, basically, from now until next Thursday. Nothing's going to change. And what flavor ice cream did Jerry eat today? What, today's Wednesday? I think it was strawberry. Jerry doesn't fucking know what day of the week it is. He knows what day of the week it is by what flavor ice cream they give him. Yeah, he has no clue, man. Well, he's like, what, 83? Come on, man. We all have, if both of your parents are still in your life, you're truly blessed. But, as we were kids or whatever, we seen our grandparents growing up. Would you let your 85-year-old grandparents run a $1 billion NFL team? Nah, man. Jerry, they probably don't even let him drive anymore. Remember when he got into the car accident like 2 years ago, man? It looked like he was going to get a blowjob, man. It was hilarious as hell. Sorry. Nebraska is my favorite college. What do you think of Ty Robinson? Oh, I love Ty Robinson. I broke him down before the season even started. I broke him down high, and I think he's like 10 on my defensive tackle rankings. I believe I ranked, I think, over 30. It is a crazy deep defensive tackle, an edge class. But Ty Robinson, like 6'6", 310. He has length. Sleeper. He's a kid that I think I would want to get him to get a little bit bigger. Some teams, I think also too, he would be a perfect 5 tech for, let's say, like the Steelers or the Ravens or something like that. But I'm a big fan of Ty Robinson. You're gonna if you're a Nebraska fan, get prepared for a new offense this year, because you're going to see about 50 to 60 passes a game with your new offensive coordinator, who has had success at West Virginia. Then he went back to where he originally came from, Houston. Dana Hodginson, his name is. Bro, you want to laugh? There's that movie Kingpin. He looks like McCracken, the guy that's holding on to his hair, and it's horrible. He has like his one strip of hair wrapped around his head. That's what he looks like. It's hilarious, man. But yo, he's a good coach. He went to Nebraska last year just as a consultant, and after like 3 weeks, they named him OC, and now a whole year. Get ready for Nebraska to be throwing the ball a lot. But I like Hodgson, and I think LaFleur, I think, might be Nebraska's head coach. They just kicked a wideout transfer off the team from Kentucky. Yeah, I listen. It's crazy, man. Like a lot of stuff. Listen, man. Honestly, they could have. Who knows what he did, but they might have just wanted somebody else, and now that scholarship is somebody else's. But be prepared for a lot of passing with Nebraska, man. And I think he's a good coach, Dana Hodgson. He put up crazy numbers at West Virginia. He put up good numbers at Houston, but he just couldn't get Houston like to the next step. Is the best, I guess, way to say it. But listen, for all your draft needs, this is, like I said, this is not going to end. Once the draft, listen, I'll probably go live next Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I'll go live each night, talk about people. But you have to realize, as soon as the draft is over, boom, now it's your team having to sign undrafted free agents. That's just as important, bro, as the draft. Because all you have to do is look at your favorite NFL team and see how many undrafted free agents are on that team. And the backbone of every single team, I'm sorry, is day 3. Day 3 is the backbone. Why? There's more picks on day 3 also. But you'd be shocked on how many first, second, third rounders do bust. But I'll be coming out with a mock draft later on, and I'll be coming out with I probably got about 2-3 more sleepers. I got a book of just sleepers, man. So thank you, everybody, for jumping in the chat. Like I said, I did my least favorite position, and I hope everybody likes it. Over, out.